We all remember when Invincible got sent to another dimension by Angstrom and helped a parody Spider-Man beat Doc Ock, right? But what if I told you this was actually supposed to be a real crossover episode with Spider-Man and the Avengers? Well, after Mark got sent through the portal, in the Marvel team-up comic, we see Spider-Man doing his regular friendly neighborhood work by throwing hands with Dr. Octopus, and as he gets backed into a corner by Octavius, a green portal opens up behind Doc Ock, which Spidey tries to warn him about, but Otto says he isn't going to fall for that trick. Suddenly, Invincible comes soaring out of the portal, toppling into Dr. Octavius. Spidey thwips over toward him while saying that must have left a mark.
Say that again?
Invincible is busy apologizing to him as Spider-Man thinks maybe it's Nova who's come to help in a different costume. Invincible panics and tells Spidey that he didn't mean to hurt this man, but Mark realizes he has some sort of spider arms. Spider-Man realizes it's not Nova and clarifies that they're octopus arms. Mark is relieved only for Otto to launch him into the wall. However, Mark grabs onto his octopus arm and throws him through the building, ending the fight instantly. The cops quickly arrive, and the duo agree to flee the scene. Invincible grabs Spidey and flies off. Spidey, slightly offended, tells him he's got his own means of travel, so he doesn't have to grab him. He scolds Invincible, saying that he could have killed Octavius after hitting him that hard. Mark apologizes for attacking the squid guy a little too hard, and Spider-Man clarifies it's Dr. Octopus. He asks who Invincible is, but notices that he's crying. Invincible replies that he's worried about his mom. Spidey asks what's up, and Invincible explains that he's from another dimension, and his enemy Angstorm Levy has the power to travel across them. Peter listens in as Mark explains that he was born with his powers. He reveals everything to Peter, starting with his dad, Omni-Man, who he aspired to be like until he got his powers, and his dad turned out to be a mass murderer and tried to take over the world whilst asking for Mark's help. Spider-Man is shocked as Invincible continues to explain how he called his mother a pet. And now Angstrom holds his mom hostage to break Invincible down emotionally. Spider-Man reassures Mark that he can stick with him as he knows all about family members being threatened. Mark thanks him, but is confused as to why Spidey doesn't doubt his story. The Goat explains that Mark's first priority was to see if Dr. Octopus was okay when he barged into him, so that was enough for Spider-Man to believe him. Also, why is Bro so chopped in this comic? Spider-Man formally introduces himself, and Invincible is a little disappointed and calls his name lame. Spidey gets a little offended, and Mark says his name is Invincible. Spidey doesn't really F with Mark's superhero name, but Mark apologizes since he got offended. It's just that since he's got spider powers, it's a little lazy to be called Spider-Man. It'd be like if I had said, hey, I've got superpowers. I'll be Superman. It's just not very creative, right? I mean, am I wrong? Spidey says he doesn't really think about it, and it sounds catchy to him. Invincible changes the topic by offering to help since he's really strong and all, and Spidey says he'll need help tracking down Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man says they'll stop at Avengers Tower to see if they've located him. Mark's confused, but the two fly off to the tower. As they land, Mark asks who the Avengers are. Who are the Avengers? Man, you really are from another dimension. Spider-Man explains who the Avengers are, along with other teams like the X-Men. Mark calls Spider-Man weird and questions if he's really on this Avengers team. Spidey instantly turns back and asks what he meant by that, and Invincible says he meant nothing. Aunt May walks in and urges Peter to take off his mask, but Invincible tells him to not worry about his identity and introduces himself first by saying his name is Mark Grayson. The two goats shake hands as they exchange their real identities. MJ walks in and asks if their movie night's still on. Mark jokingly says that the Avengers team is impressive and calls MJ a hot redhead, but Peter clarifies that those two weren't the Avengers and actually his aunt and wife. Mark says to Peter that he hit the jackpot for securing the fine shit. Peter's shocked that Mark believes he could bag such a baddie, but Mark hypes him up by saying he's a good-looking dude, and it's not like he's some skinny nerd with glasses. You know, I think you're my favorite superhero right now. Invulnerable. It's Invincible, sheesh. Mark asks where the actual Avengers are, and Peter says they're right behind him. Mark turns around to see the entire Avengers surrounding him, with Wolverine who's ready to attack. He sarcastically says they're looking really impressive and sharp. He tries to guess their names names by using Spider-Man's name as an indication: Robot Man, Claw Man, Flag Man, Fabio Man, Batwoman, and Black Man. Would Invincible solo this team? Peter face palms as he starts to think his hero name really does suck. Pete explains that he came through the portal from another dimension and his name is Invincible, whilst Cap just responds with a disappointed silence. Iron Man informs them there's police chatter of a guy matching Dr. Octopus's description at the harbor. Cap asks if they need help, as Spidey and Invincible suit back up, but Peter says he can handle his own mess and tells them to wait for the cosmic problems. Tony and Steve say they barely even fight anything cosmic. It's not like they're fighting Galactus or Thanos every day, right? Spidey and Mark fly to the harbor, but they realize it's too far, and Spidey agrees to let Mark hold him so they can get there instantly. The duo arrive to see Otto causing havoc. Invincible immediately launches into him, and Spider-Man asks the cops if he can trust them not shooting at the good guys this time. Octavius comes flying back onto the harbor. Spider-Man tells him to take it easy since they don't want to kill him, and Mark promises he didn't hit him too hard. Otto isn't done yet and attacks Invincible as Spider-Man webs up his mouth, but Mark shouts he's had enough and zooms at Dr. Octopus, tearing every one of his metal tentacles off, ending the battle. Peter is impressed and asks if Mark can join him to take down some of his other bad guys since he did so well, but Invincible notices the portal starts to open up. Since their journey is nearing its end, the goats shake hands and Spider-Man wishes his friend good luck against Angstrom, and Invincible says Spider-Man's name is pretty catchy, and he likes it now. Invincible builds up speed and launches at the portal. Spidey suddenly tries to attach onto him, shouting that he can help, but as he attaches onto Mark, the portal closes too quickly, cutting his web line. Spider-Man web swings away, saying he was stupid to try to go after him since he'd be stuck in a different dimension, and instead, he's going to go watch movies with his hot wife. Good luck, Invincible, wherever you are. Man, we were robbed from getting this in the show.